Hey guys, so this video is for those of us who really bought into the garbage in, garbage out kind of dogma of personal development, who got really deep in personal development and self-actualization, and tried to wisely use our time the best we could. And then we get into spirituality, we get into non-duality, and we realize that there's no such thing as garbage, but thinking makes it so. So how do we resolve this entertainment with how we're supposed to spend our time, how we know we're making a good use of our time, and how do we go back and look at some of the judgments we have about entertainment and about especially the people who engage in it and what we saw as unconscious about that. So we want to look at that from a completely fresh, objective, non-identified perspective. And I came out here today, and because of quarantine, I'm not allowed to film in my house, and if this looks uncomfortable, it is, because we just got a storm and it's soaking wet out here, but oh well. So I came out here, and a light bulb that somebody had thrown out as trash had blown up on the trail right where I was to film this, and there you go. Is this trash or is it a sign? So it's funny how life just puts things, when you realize that the physical world is manifest, it just puts things like this, if you have eyes to see the signs that are there for you. So entertain. I've gotten really into what I find entertaining has really broadened. And meditation does this for you. So when you purposefully, counterintuitively make yourself bored as heck, suddenly the entire world is entertaining, and things you previously thought were boring were entertaining. And entertainment and your curiosity reaches this incredible depth. And that's one of the rewards to this work. So if we can give up our ideas of what's entertaining and give up entertaining, and that is wisdom, garbage in, garbage out, don't waste your life, then you can expand your horizon. And then from there, you're off to the races. And so this video, or my message, or what I want for you, is to accept this gift we've been given, that this whole world, this is us, this is here for us, this is a gift for us. So entertain. I like to look up word meanings recently, and I looked up the meaning of entertain, and word roots especially are really interesting to me. It probably sounds boring as fuck, but really. So entertain means you get some good insights from those. Entertain means to hold or to support together. So what is entertainment? It's a type of resonance. And especially comedy is really interesting to me, and I've been contemplating this a lot lately. So if you know how everybody has a different sense of humor, and some people are offended by what other people find hilarious. It's because we're releasing a type of tension when we find something funny. And it's you have to be ready, the timing has to be right, and like when the student is ready, the teacher appears, you have to be ready to resonate with that specific type of humor. And so I went through and thought about the movies that I thought were the absolute funniest, and I came up with Borat and Napoleon Dynamite. And so I looked at clips again, like wasting my time on YouTube just like laughing at these old clips. But these insights started to come for me, and as you open your mind and as you have that deeper desire to see things in a deeper way, you get insights from the strangest places, from garbage in, garbage out, insights in, insights out. And So I realized with Borat, it's the complete opposite of my personality, where I'm really afraid of offending people, of saying the wrong things. If you watch me go about my day-to-day life, that's the biggest problem. I'm shy, I'm worried, I'm always really worried about what people think. And I just went through, I just got a letter in the mail, it's really funny, that I didn't get my daughter to her pediatrician appointment. I called to cancel it and felt really bad because I knew they were having horrible scheduling issues with the coronavirus, but I wasn't comfortable bringing her in for her shots and thought it would be traumatic. So I called and canceled, but obviously the receptionist never put it down. And I just, like, I hung up the phone after doing it. I explained why. I told her I thought it'd be traumatic, and I just felt awful. And I realized, like, how much I cared. I just wanted her to tell me it was okay, and she was obviously annoyed. And, like, I was looking for her to resolve that situation. So when I watch Borat and I watch him trying to provoke reactions out of people for sheer humor, for entertainment, it's hilarious to me because that's something I can't accept about myself. But to see him do it, it's something that I want to be able to do. And so to see him do it, I can project myself onto him and have that kind of release. However, if I'm unconscious of what's happening there, it's just him being a comedian. And so you can see how entertainment can be used to kind of to soothe us, and it can be used as therapy, and it can also be used to avoid. So you can see how it's a double-edged sword, and it's by feeling that we know that. And humor is hilarious. It's a wonderful release until it loses that edge, and you know when it does. And there's comedians like Robin Williams and many other comedians that have kind of like entered into that creative, hilarious, knowing not to take life so seriously, but also with this flip side of severe depression. And that's what spirituality wants to help us to integrate, is the hilarity and the transcendence of it. And like I said in previous videos, I grew up Christian. I was devout Christian. I did not take Jesus' name in vain, and I was horribly offended by Jesus jokes. And now to me, it's the funniest thing, and I can't stop saying Jesus' name in vain. I can't stop saying Jesus' name in vain. It's hilarious to me because I see that working out. It was repressed all my life, and I see it working out. And today I watched that too, the contemplation of humor. I watched myself look up, I use Jesus as an analogy, as like this wiser voice in my head. And I realized how it's always fear behind when we can't find something funny. It's always fear behind that. So for me, as someone who believed that Jesus was this figure that I was supposed to take so seriously, for me to laugh at it, there would be some sort of like karmic is the best way to describe it. Like I would be punished for that. Like the Christian idea of karma, which everybody inherently feels is true, but isn't really in Christianity explicitly stated so much. But it was more the self-judgment or the concern that I was afraid of, so I couldn't let myself laugh at that. But someone who is raised atheist, who is raised like making fun of Jesus, making fun of religion, they are triggered by religion itself. They have a fear of religion because they're afraid of living in a society where people aren't rational, and they don't realize that rational, that knowing how things are, is their religion, and that they are afraid of any possibilities beyond that. And so they can't see how Jesus can be both funny and example and an image profound enough to bring you to tears or bring you to self-realization. And so both of these things are possibilities. Both of these are true. And there's no direction that we can point someone in. And so it's all by feeling, whether you know something is entertaining for you or whether it's not. And if you're into non-duality and spirituality, you've probably come across Osho and people questioning. He had the Rolls Royces. It's the documentary on Netflix is really amazing, really entertaining. I enjoyed watching that so much because it was like all this clash of personalities and this clash of truth, but coming up against the world and the conflict with it. Now, there was a lot of mistakes and a lot of things that went off, to put it lightly, but you see this kind of drama, and you see how we're all actors. And if we're unwilling to play the part that we have, then we feel stuck in life, because we are manifest. If we deny that, if we take non-duality to deny our role, to deny our purpose, to deny trying to find our purpose, trying to find our joy. We are here for joy. We are here to both serve, and there's another duality. The ruler is the server. In our government, we elect people above us to serve us. They are the scapegoats when things go wrong. They are the ones we look to. There is, when you get down to it, no duality. There is no hierarchy. There are no levels. And so it all comes down to fear, and entertainment can be, like I said, it can be holding us from that fear, and that counterintuitive going away from the couch potato, watching something to kind of soothe and not bring up those emotions, to go in the direction of fear is counterintuitive. And yet intuition is fear itself. As we let intuition arise, it feels like fear, because intuition is that deeper knowing that is beyond fear. It knows that fear is the resistance to love. So fear is not the resistance itself. Fear is the combination of love with resistance over it, felt as fear. And so intuition is when we connect beyond that resistance, but it's still, there's such grace in life that we can connect to that even if we have that resistance. And so sometimes we read our intuition itself as fear and are afraid of our intuition as fear. And some of us have had experiences where we've had, even as children, have had intuition bubble up and have reacted to it with great fear. And that's what this is soothing it, is getting to the place where intuition itself is honored and purified as the love that it is. And you know the difference when you go about doing something, whether it's numbing or soothing. And it's continually being willing to experience both of those things, to know the difference in how they feel, and to go in the direction of soothing because it feels so much better. So, is there anything I wanted to say? Oh, yes. There's another point I wanted to make. So, when you go on a vacation, when you see something completely new, your awareness completely, it enters a blank slate itself, so that you can experience because your mind has not had these paths to judge and to see. So if you're looking at the same landscape that you always look at, your mind is going to look for things that are different, for things that are off. So if you're somewhere you've never been before, you're just completely taking it in, and that judgment is kind of beyond the surface. It's further away. And so when we watch something, when you watch entertainment, really, really, you have to consciously connect to that place of as if you were on vacation and just letting it in. And that's where entertainment gets to be the temptation of being something that's unconscious, is when it's the woods that we've seen, the landscape we've seen so many times, and we're looking for something new. And so if you can completely make the slate blank and also ask yourself what it is that you what are resonating with or what you are not resonating with. And so I was watching Jeffree Star on YouTube, and for someone who grew up in a traditional culture with gender roles and a mother who gardened, was extremely practical, never wore makeup, didn't care about beauty, was just like I'm very grateful for my childhood, but in our culture it's not like that. So here's this man wearing makeup, dressing up, and being extremely, and to me that's just, and so watching that and watching my reactions to that is incredibly useful to me. And yet it's, why is it entertaining my mind? Because something is resonating with it. Something wants to resolve itself there. So watch your entertainment and observe everything rather than just saying garbage in, garbage out, not allowing yourself, maybe go back. Maybe it's time, you know, by feeling, maybe it's time to go back and watch some of the things that you used to waste your time doing, and ask yourself why. Why were you so interested in it? Why did it appeal to you? What were you trying? What was your psyche trying to integrate from that? That can be a really powerful question to ask. Thanks for watching today. Please consider subscribing if you haven't. Please like and comment if you will. I love you guys. Bye.